That's my intro. Done. It's been a minute, friends, since I posted something. Got all my hairs, that's the thing. Today, what I would like to do is chat with you kind of briefly, famous last words, about all the hot sauces we were able to create this year with the peppers that we grew and or got from the farm. So it's going to kind of be rapid fire, taking you through all these lovelies. If you are new here, hi. I will put a link below to our hot sauce video, what my process is for actually making these hot sauces and all the things. And I'm not going to go into that at all. Today is simply going to be sharing with you for inspiration, shall we say. Everything that we did. Now is, believe it or not, kind of the time that I do start thinking about next year's hot sauce batches because ordering seeds. Yay. This is the time for ordering seeds, the time for daydreaming about my garden next year. And next year we have big plans to actually do some more hot sauce. It is very well received by family and friends because we just finished Christmas and gave a lot of it away, and we've been using it and we've been thrilled, and it's just so much fun. If you are curious what I've been up to, because I have filmed lots of random things as we've been working on the homestead throughout the last couple months and just have not put together a video, and so I care about whether or not you guys think I live a productive life. So at the end of this video, I'm going to do a quick montage of a bunch of the stuff we've been doing, and I'll ask your opinion on what is of interest to you. But if you're just here for the hot sauce, let's get into it. You might recognize this. This is my book where I put notes about what I did, what went into the hot sauce, etc. This is, by the way, a hot sauce that is still fermenting 5 months later. It's fine. Totally fine. I was putting shipping stickers on these, writing down on this sticker what went into the jar as it went in, and then slapping the sticker on the side. I had a couple ciders, not ciders. These aren't ciders. What are you talking about, Rebecca? I don't know. I had a couple hot sauces that this got messed up, and this was my only record of what went in there. So moving forward, I'm just going to write it in the book as I go instead of peeling off the sticker like so. Ta-da! And sticking it in the book. Let's do this. Duh. First guy is what we are calling Green Monster. The first hot sauce of the season is almost always green because the jalapenos are green. And we have a lot. This one is actually a fairly mild sauce because it is just jalapenos and plenty hot enough for most people. So this has green bells. It does have a couple green Anaheims in it. It is absolutely a favorite. This one fermented for about 5 weeks, actually. So not a super long ferment. So it's a little fresher tasting than some of the other ones. Lovely all around sauce, Green Monster. Stop, let me interrupt and show you if you haven't seen this. My mother-in-law got this for us for Christmas. Oh my dang. And yes, we've used that much hot sauce already. We like hot sauce around here. I cannot wait to clean this little sucker out. And look, see, to clean this little sucker out and refill it. He will take pride of place at our kitchen table. Sorry to interrupt. The second hot sauce that I pulled this year is what I actually just call the classic orange, because it's just a classic orange sauce. I actually had 2 half gallons of this going. This is 2 ferments blended into one because this is my favorite. This one is a really good, just all around kind of buffalo wing sauce. So this one's got some habaneros, not a ton. It's got lots of red bell, red and orange and yellow bell to keep that color. It's got a couple Anaheims in it and just a couple red jalapenos. Again, this was started early August, so still not a lot of red peppers yet. All the peppers are not ripening, which is why this was actually 2 batches. As the season went on and I got more of these peppers, I just started another batch. This one fermented for 6 weeks in one batch and 8 weeks in the other batch. It's a classic orange. That's what I call it. The next one was one I was really excited about. This one, you can actually see how similar it is in color. This is why it's always helpful to label these. By the way, I will put down below a link to these bottles. We really like these bottles. We've got the 3 ounce and 5 ounce bottles. Oh, and can we just appreciate my label? I'll give you guys a close up. Anyway, this one, batch number 233, the 3rd one of the season. This one got really hot. This one was peach habanero. This one, we used a couple of large, beautifully ripe peaches. I used a whole pint of habaneros in the half gallon. So this one's got some heat. A whole pint of habaneros and a couple Anaheims. Just 1 sweet bell pepper and a 3% brine. When I pulled this one, all of these, by the way, I add apple cider vinegar to. And again, I talk about that in my whole big how to make it video. Link down below. This one I also added a little bit of honey to during the fermentation process because the yeasts are breaking down sugar. It's what they do, it's what they eat. There is not a whole lot of sweetness left over from this fruit. This one was a super active ferment because there was a lot of sugar and I wanted some of that sweetness still in the final product. So I added some honey to this in the end and it's so good. So good. This one's probably my 2nd favorite of the season. I'll tell you what my 1st favorite is when we get there. This one actually also, even though it was a very active ferment, I let it ferment for like 11 weeks. This was pulled in the beginning of November. So it went for a while, which is also why there wasn't a whole lot of sweetness left. Next year I'll experiment a little bit with pulling it earlier with stopping the fermentation process to see if I can still keep some of that fresh sweetness. All right, moving right along. Footloose and fancy free. Hot beet. How much fun is that? This one actually, if you go back and watch my video on how to make hot sauce, I feel like I'm just plugging that video. This is actually the one I made in that video because I used an ingredient I had never used before in my ferments, and that is beet. Some nice, beautiful red beetroot. And look at that color. This one, the color is lovely, and it did absolutely have some earthy notes from that beet or from those couple beets, and it was sweet. In fact, it turned out sweeter than the peach habanero, interestingly enough, because beets have a lot of sugar. Y'all know that. So this one had some Anaheims. It had a little bit of sweet pepper in it. And again, you can watch that video. This one was truly a mashup of random stuff out of the garden. It had a couple small beets, red beets, had just 4 habaneros, 2 ghost peppers, 5 red jalapenos, a big red sweet pepper. And this one had a 3% brine. But thrilled with the color, the ferment was a beautiful purpley red. It was so pretty. But when we blended it all up, we got that color, which I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at it. Okay, the next one is another fun experiment. This one we're calling Ghost Plum. This is the only one really that features ghost peppers. They are the only hot peppers in this guy. This one we use some of our damson plums, which are just the best plums. If you want to plant a plum tree, I highly recommend damsons. We had a lot of damsons and we're just trying to play with things to do with them. And one of them is fermenting. This one, I really like the color. It's like a really subtle pinkish, like salmon almost. Yeah, so this had damsons. This had a couple sweet bells. This had garlic, which is my first one of the season that had garlic, and then the ghost peppers. This one also I added honey to at the end to round out the heat and bring back some of that sweetness, because this fermented, I'm sorry, I've got to do math, almost 12 weeks. So again, maybe I should have pulled it earlier. I'll play with that next year in order to maintain some of the sweetness, but oh, so good. Very happy with that one. And the final one that I'm going to talk about that we've jarred is my favorite of the season. This one will do again. This one is a pineapple. It's got pineapple, ginger, garlic, and fatali peppers, which were gifted to me by a friend, and they're lovely, blazing hot, bright yellow hot peppers. Thrilled with it. This also had some yellow sweet pepper in it, but the star of the show is definitely the pineapple and the fatali, and the ginger comes through. So pineapple, ginger, garlic, fatali, and sweet peppers. I also love that color. Having a yellow sauce in our lineup, one, is just fun. It makes for beautiful little boxed gifts. So I am getting a yellow jalapeno from Johnny's in order to make more yellow sauces. This guy's hot. Boy howdy, he's hot. But the acidity of the pineapple really balances this. It did maintain quite a lot of sweetness. So good, so good. Favorite of the season. Now, there are two that are still fermenting, not because they need to, because it's been a minute. I can absolutely pull them, but just because I haven't yet. This guy, who's still in the jar in front of me, this guy is another pineapple one, so I'm really excited about that one. Pineapple Reaper. So this one features our Carolina Reaper peppers. This has 7 whole Carolina Reapers. It's got some sweet bells. It's got a whole half of a pineapple in there. This one also has one of those fatalis in there. I expect this to be pretty spicy. And this one has some garlic. This one does not have the ginger, so it should be kind of a cleaner pineapple taste. And then down below, hold that thought. It's me. Hi. This one, I am gonna actually have to do a little bit of research and make sure that some of that stuff on top is fine to just scrape off. It does not look like anything that really scares me, but I'm not even gonna tell you guys what to do in this case, because I myself am gonna have to do some research. But this guy is what we're calling berry hot. We had a whole pint of blueberries that were not eaten and about to go off. And then I also had black raspberry pulp that was left over from where I did raspberry jelly. So I put the pulp in here. So I'm very curious what this is going to do. It's got, so the black raspberry pulp, it's got blueberries. This one also has 6 reapers, 11 ghosts, an Anaheim, a pimento, because again, just pulling stuff out of the garden, a sweet bell. This one's got an onion, and this one's got an apple, which is probably why this was by far my most active ferment this season. Obviously, lots of sugar, and I used leftover brine, which is kind of a fun thing to experiment with, to use the cultures that are in the brine from some of these other ones to kickstart the fermentation of a new batch. So long as I didn't have anything growing in it, that is a perfectly safe thing to do. And then finally, oh my goodness. Oh wow, wait. Y'all gonna think I'm crazy. So when I poked my head down there, I've got another one down there. This one is cherry bomb. We had a bag full of frozen cherries from our cherry tree that we didn't use, and what better thing to do with them than throw it into a hot sauce ferment, right? Right. So this one has about 2 pounds of our sour cherries. This one has 7 ghost peppers. Wow. 2 bell peppers and a scallion. So I'm curious about that. Look at that color. That'll be fun, right? Finally, this guy, which is just straight habaneros in a quart jar with, I talk about this kind of silicone top in my earlier video, but this is just straight habaneros. They're definitely ready to pull, fully fermented. And we will blend that with this, which is garlic that has been fermenting in honey. So we ferment those to keep them kind of clean flavored, and then I will blend those together to make a garlic honey habanero. That's my hot sauces for the 2023 season. That is our season in hot sauce. It's been fun. Highly encourage you to try it yourself. Hi. Figured I'd sit down with some coffee. We're just going to pretend it's warm. It's ice cold. As I mentioned in the intro to the video, I have been busy. These last couple months, we've done a lot here on the homestead. This is my opportunity to rapid fire just kind of tell you what's been going on, give you a little montage of some of the things. One of the reasons I wanted to do this is because I would love to hear from you if anything that I mentioned kind of spurs you, anything you see that you're like, oh, I want to know more about that, or I'm going to love to see a long form video on that, or whatever the case may be. So here's some of the things that I have some clips of that we have gotten into. First of all, I've dried a whole bunch of flowers because that has become something that I really enjoy doing. And with those flowers, I've made a couple wreaths. Again, because it's something I really enjoy doing, I am actually about to kind of start that whole cycle over again. When I prune our apple trees and prune some of our dogwoods, I will keep some of those whips in order to weave some new wreath forms to make wreaths next year. I also use some of those dried flowers to make some flower crowns because my daughter and I had the pleasure of being vendors at our local Renaissance Festival. Oh yes, where I lived out all of my hobbity dreams. I not only do lots of the dried flower things, again, I made little posies, made flower crowns, but I also did some needle felting and it created some things to vend there. So easily distracted. David just walked in. Hello, David. Hello. What else have I done? Oh, we harvested those 18 boy chickens that you guys saw in an earlier video where I showed you our new baby chickens. These chicks that we were trying out new for the first time. So if you're curious about my thoughts on the Bielevelders, forgive the pronunciation if that's really wrong. I can let you know. But yeah, we, like I said, harvested all 18 of those. Just a couple ended up in the freezer. Most of them were actually processed in cans or in jars. I have dug up my dahlias for the season. Did that after we got a couple heavy frosts. I finally dug those up. Those are now downstairs in my cellar waiting on the spring this year. I left a couple out in the garden covered up with some mulch and to see if they come back. We have had very mild winters these last couple winters. I'm actually hoping for an incredibly harsh winter because we need to kill some bugs. We need snow to rejuvenate our water table, which is still, even though we're getting rain today, still incredibly low. We have kittens. They're new inside. As one is running around trying his best to trip up David. Mariodoc Brandybuck and Peregrine Took are our new little boys. Do you need to bring him over here to show the people?
Some liquid cat.
Some liquid cat. That one's Pippin. Yes, they've been a joy. They actually have been. They're good boys. So that is about all I think that's happened at the Lloydstead. Again, comment down below what if any of that stuff might sound interesting to you. Let me know if any of those hot sauces inspire you, if you're going to start your own fermentation journey next year. If you're growing any really cool peppers that you're kind of excited to try in hot sauces, I would love to hear about it. Yeah, otherwise, I hope everyone had happy holidays, and I hope you all have a blessed end of the year, and I will be talking to you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Bye. I haven't done this in a while. I don't remember how to say things.